In this video, I'll uncover 6 amazing tricks that are going to help you get better results with intermittent fasting. If you're trying to improve your health, one of the things you have to have is proper strategy. Intermittent fasting is a great way in order to achieve your health goals. But what I want to teach you is how to achieve these goals faster. So that's why in this video, we're going to talk about 6 tricks to make intermittent fasting work faster. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you 3 tips in order to help you do intermittent fasting with ease. So stick around to the end of this video. But before we get started, I'm Dr. Zyrowski and welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, it's a pleasure to have you here. Be sure to hit that notification bell, join our notification community, and from there, I'm going to help you excel your health and your life. Let's go ahead and talk about tip number 1. Tip number 1 is going to be 1 meal a day. So let's say that you're doing 16-8 intermittent fasting and you think to yourself, well, you know what, I'd like to, increase fat burning. I'd like to get more benefits of hormone balancing and drive blood sugar a little lower, insulin a little lower. I'd like to get some of the benefits of autophagy. Well, this is what you want to do. You want to go from 16-8 and slowly work your way to 1 meal a day. You want to slowly close those eating hours down till you get to about 2 hours. And then that is a really great way that you can boost intermittent fasting. And the cool thing is that when you think of going 1 meal a day, a lot of people think that they have to be locked in a certain camp. They have to either do 1 meal a day or they have to do 16-8. The truth is you can bounce between both of them. That's what I've done for the past, 8 years that I've been doing intermittent fasting. This is what I teach a lot of the patients I work with, and it works really well, and it's also very sustainable. And I'll talk to you in just a moment why it actually is very beneficial when it comes to, calorie intake. And so hang out for that tip as we talk about tip number 2. Tip number 2 is talking about working out while you're in a fasted state. This is something that's really, really awesome. Now, if we're looking at the characterization of a fasted workout, basically what it is that you have to have been fasting for 12 hours. After you have been fasting for 12 hours, you work out between that 12-hour mark and prior to your first meal. That is a fasted workout. Now, the fasted workout has so many benefits. It boosts good hormones like growth hormone, testosterone in males. It really helps increase fat burning because the thing is that your blood sugar is already low. You're already in that fat burning state. When you do that fasted workout, it really forces your body to tap into those fat stores and start burning a lot of that belly fat that a lot of people are trying to get rid of. And so a fasted workout is incredible. And the truth is, I've been doing this for many years because it's like if I'm fasting already and I'm exercising, why not just do a fasted workout and get way more benefits than if I was to do a workout during my eating window. So doing a fasted workout is a great way to improve your results with intermittent fasting and make it work so much faster for you. Now, next on our list is going to be apple cider vinegar. Now, apple cider vinegar is something that I talk about quite often because it has a lot of benefits, digestive benefits. It's going to help you break down your food better. It's going to help increase the acidity within your stomach. But one of the things it also does is it drives down blood sugar and it also drives down insulin levels. So what you can do if you want to boost intermittent fasting is you take 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar prior to your last meal of the day. It helps keep your blood sugar low and insulin low throughout that meal, kind of helps buffer that blood sugar. And then when you go into the fasted state, you're driving that blood sugar and insulin level a little bit lower throughout the whole fast. And then what you can do is use apple cider vinegar again, 2 tablespoons prior to your first meal, and it offers some of those same great benefits. So if you want to boost intermittent fasting and you want to get into a deeper fasted state, use apple cider vinegar. If you're someone who doesn't like using the liquid, you can use the capsules. I'll put a link in the description to one that I use below. So be sure to use apple cider vinegar as your friend when intermittent fasting if you want to boost the results. Next here is going to be calculate your calories. This is something that I talk about quite often. I never hear people talk about this, but you know what? I guess I never really realized what it was, how big of a problem it was until I saw many patients messing it up. Now, calculate your calories when doing intermittent fasting because what happens is when doing intermittent fasting, it's a bit of a mind game. When we go from 3 meals a day to 2 meals a day or even 1 meal a day, what I find is that whatever mindset you're in is typically the side that you err towards. So if you're someone who thinks that you're not eating enough food, you tend to overeat. In many cases, people will grossly overeat. Now, if you think that you're eating too much food, a lot of people will undereat. But the truth is that we actually want to be right on par with our calories. We don't want to be undereating because that's going to mess up our metabolism. We don't want to be overeating because we certainly can't get results if we're overeating. So we have to make sure that we understand proper calorie intake. What I always recommend to people is if you're new to intermittent fasting or 1 meal a day, is what you do is you count your calories for a couple weeks, get an idea of where you need to be at, get an idea of what your food intake should look like, and then from there you'll be able to, go into intermittent fasting and get great results. So if you want to see it work faster, you have to be eating the proper amounts of food, and you also have to be hitting the proper macros. I tend to find that a lot of people, when it comes to their macros, they tend to undereat protein and they tend to overeat fats, okay? So a lot of people will want to do the ketogenic diet with intermittent fasting or 1 meal a day, which is totally fine, which is totally great. But what you have to make sure is that you're hitting proper macros and you're getting proper calories. And so calculate your calories for a little bit if you want to boost your intermittent fasting results. Adequate sleep is also very important. Now, as someone who has 4 kids, I know what it's like to not have good quality sleep and do intermittent fasting. As I mentioned, I've done it for years. Now, let me put in the comment section below, have you ever had poor quality sleep when doing intermittent fasting? What kind of impact did it have on your fast? For me, I can tell you it increases cravings. It kills my willpower. I'm like, why am I doing this 1 meal a day stuff? I feel terrible. My energy is horrible. And so adequate sleep really helps keep cortisol low. It helps keep insulin low. It helps stabilize your blood sugar. It's so important. It helps keep inflammation low. And if you get adequate sleep, it's going to help boost your fasting, okay? And it's going to just help you be more focused and stay on point with your intermittent fast versus, like I said, not having that willpower and breaking them and doing them incorrectly, grabbing foods that are there because you have cravings off the chart. We want to make sure that we're getting adequate sleep. It's so important, and it's going to help you fast so much better. Now, next is going to be eating satiating meals. A lot of times when we have people who are intermittent fasting, they tend to be all over the place with their meals. There's some people I talk about who are using intermittent fasting as a crutch to eat really unhealthy. When you do that, what happens is you're just putting yourself into this state where your blood sugar's all over the place, you're not getting proper nutrition, and then it's pretty rough when you go into your fast. A lot of people don't feel too well. They feel pretty lousy. And some people who eat really unhealthy and then do intermittent fasting like 1 meal a day, typically they're just at a point where they go, well, I kind of feel lousy when I'm doing this fasting stuff. But if you're eating healthy, getting proper nutrition, getting nutrient-dense foods, then you feel pretty good when you're intermittent fasting. The cravings aren't there. It's not as much of an issue. So we have to make sure that we're eating satiating meals. We can't be eating junk, but we also can't be eating a diet that's so strict that we can't get our proper macros in and we don't feel well because we're just, not enjoying life at all. The key to any sustainable lifestyle practice is going to be something making it enjoyable, which is totally doable. We want to make sure that we're eating the proper food, getting proper nutrition, and as a result, you're going to boost intermittent fasting and help it work so much better for you. And then next, let's talk about a couple bonus tips, okay? And now, when intermittent fasting, typically hunger becomes an issue at some point. You get some hunger cravings. Now, what you want to do in order to blunt your appetite, this is what I use. I use apple cider vinegar, that's one. I also will use some sparkling water. I'll use black coffee and black tea. These are all great ways to blunt your appetite when intermittent fasting and help you, do it with ease. Next on the list is going to be consume electrolytes, okay? Now, intermittent fasting is a problem for a lot of people who are intermittent fasting and working out at the same time. You're pouring out a lot of electrolytes. As you're in a fasted state, your body will dump electrolytes in many cases. What happens for me is I start getting nasty muscle cramps and don't feel too well. So I consume electrolytes when doing intermittent fasting, and it really helps keep your magnesium up, your potassium up. It's very important. Your sodium is also important to make sure that you're keeping up there. And so, research shows that a lot of people have deficiencies in some of these areas already. Doing intermittent fasting combined with a workout can even drive those further and just, like I said, make you feel very lousy. I'll put a link to the electrolyte powder that I use down below here, but the electrolytes are a great way to help you feel better, help you accomplish your fast better, and of course, not get some of the nasty muscle cramps and twitches and everything else you might have to deal with. Next is using essential amino acids. Now, if you're exercising and doing fasting, essential amino acids are really awesome. It really helps cut cravings. I had mentioned that one of the big areas that I see people have a problem with is they are not consuming enough protein. And so using essential amino acids will kind of work as a little bit of a safeguard within your diet, but it really helps cut cravings as well. And if you're trying to gain some muscle, it's one of those things that really helps you accomplish that goal. Now, I'm very specific. I like using essential amino acids, not branched chain amino acids, because I find that they work so much better. I'll put a link to the ones that I use in the description below as well. So hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to check out this video because I think you're gonna like this one as well. It's all about judgment call. Make those judgment calls for you. If having that coffee with a little bit of creamer in it allows you to actually do the fast, then just do the coffee with the creamer in it, because something is better than nothing. Make those judgment calls, make it sustainable for you, but still always try to do a good pure fast.